Welcome to WordCamp Asia 2024 Day 3. Yesterday we had very insightful session from our amazing speakers. So please give a big round of applause to our speakers. And our it would not be possible without our organizers and volunteers. So please give a big round of applause to our organizers and as well as our volunteers. And for you as well. So are you excited? Yeah. So our first talk will be something about contribution, and that is something I'm very passionate about as well. And I can see many familiar faces in audience with whom I've worked on various projects. So before starting, I would like to ask some questions. How many of you are contributing to WordPress before? Please raise your hands. And who are never contributed? Is there anyone? Yeah, you gonna learn a lot from this session. Okay, so our next session, next speaker is Naoko Takano. She is a regular contributor, and WordPress is the community, and for the community, WordPress is a project for the community and by the community. And our next speaker is Naoko Takano. She has been a force within the WordPress community for over 2 decades, starting her journey back in 2003 by translating WP documentation into her native language. Correct me if I'm wrong, she is the one of among few people who started the WP localization. And she's not just a contributor. Naoko has been the heart of organizing WordCamps, meetups, do action in Japan and in Asia as well. And as a project manager for Contributor Growth Initiative, she has played a pivotal role in helping shaping the future of WordPress, focusing on projects like mentorship program and Five for the Future. She was the global lead for first flagship event, WordCamp Asia 2023, and the preparation goes for more than 4 years from 2019 to 2023. She was the longest preparation WordCamp. Today, Naoko is here to share her insight in her talk with titled Insights from WordPress Contribution, What Makes Us Impactful. She will take us on a journey through the heart of the WordPress community, exploring what drives impactful collaboration from data to real-life experiences. Naoko will show us how we can enrich our collaborative efforts in any setting. I would like to call her on stage. Please give a big round of applause to Naoko.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here on the stage again at the WordCamp Asia. So yes. Okay. Hello. My name is Naoko Takano. As I was introduced, I was one of the global leads for WordCamp Asia 2023, along with some fresh here, and JC Palmas, who was the contributor day lead for the 2 days before. So as you can see, it was the longest planning WordCamp in the history. For those who didn't know, we started planning in 2015 about the idea of the WordCamp Asia, and we actually started organizing in 2019, and the pandemic stopped us from having the event. So we paused for 2 years, and in 2023, we were able to have the event finally. So that was one of the happiest day of my life to end the WordCamp. So I'm going to talk about my WordPress journey a little bit. Pooja shared my history a little bit, but as she said, I've been involved in WordPress for 2 decades, which is scary long time. So I started using WordPress in 2003 as just a user, because I was not a web professional at the time. I was working for a Japanese automotive company in Michigan, doing a temp administrative assistant job. And my dream was to become a web designer. but I didn't know how because I graduated from school, college in graphic design degree, and I'm just I was struggling to find my first job to get involved in this internet web industry. It was early time, So, but I was kind of reading things online, blogs at the time was becoming popular. I found lots of design blogs and designer blogs, web design blogs. And I found a header of one of the, my favorite blogs said, not WordPress, but movable type, which was another type of blogging software. And then from that, I started, installing movable type, getting stuck, and also discovering WordPress and fell in love because it was so easy to customize, so easy to use. And as a designer, it was such a fun experience to customize it with a template and CSS. So that's still, the user part of my journey. And I started contributing, as Pooja said, documentation, WordPress itself, forums. So, as a non-coder, I knew a little bit of coding, but not much. So I was kind of trying to spread the word about WordPress to the Japanese community. So that's how I got involved because there's so much things to be done for, letting people know what the WordPress, this software is. So I didn't know what I was doing exactly. I didn't know anything about open source. I just started doing things that was ahead of me that seemed, important or seemed needed. So that was my first phase. And that's my first contributor phase. And thanks to WordPress, I was able to become web designer because of the skill that was still emerging time for CSS, which might sound very weird for younger people. CSS was early stage of adaptation, but thanks to WordPress, I got to learn how to use it, templating, at the time, theme didn't exist. It was CSS in a PHP file. And thanks to WordPress, I got to learn the latest skill of web, which was not adopted by the industry yet. So when blogging became popular, I got to get some job making templates for some blogging software, blogging theme for company blogs. So that was where my contributor journey and my professional journey kind of converged for the first time. I even got to write the books, 2 books about WordPress in Japan, in Japanese. And I got a job at an agency doing web design, which was like my dream come true. I worked for websites like Sherry.com or Navy.com, which is like kind of high-end type of agency job. So it was like not possible without WordPress. So I became more involved as a community manager. And at the time, I had to explain about the photo. I went to WordCamp San Francisco in 2007. I met Matt Mullenweg, who is a co-founder of WordPress. And I asked him, what can I do to spread the word about the WordPress? How can I make WordPress popular in Japan? And he said, you should do a WordCamp, just like that. And I'm like, okay, I'll do a WordCamp. And yeah, small thing like that, small encouragement like that can really make a big difference because without that, I don't think I had done WordCamp for this many years, and maybe WordCamp Asia wouldn't exist in this shape. So that was 2007. My first WordCamp organization was 2009, WordCamp Tokyo, and the Tokyo community grew bigger. And this is a designer of WAPU. She's an illustrator of WAPU. Her name is Kazuko Kaneuchi. And this was one of WordCamp Osaka moments. And then, yes, and then I had a job. I was hired by Automatic as a customer support happiness engineer in 2010, shortly after WordCamp, first WordCamp in Japan. And yeah, my journey from then was, doing my work at Automatic, getting some involvement in the community, continuing to translate, continuing to, grow the community. Then my professional role changed to localization manager, which is, turning WordPress.com into multiple languages. So at the time, I was having hard time balancing my professional role and community role because WordPress.com is similar to WordPress.org, but a little bit separate from the community. And I had two kids, my son, my daughter. My daughter is going to turn 10, so in the middle of this journey, I was struggling to find time to contribute. But again, thanks to Automatic, I am now a full-time contributor working on the projects like Fiber for the Future and contributor mentorship program. So that's a long time, but as I explained, little bit of progression in my journey helped me to get where I am. So I'm excited to share how I got here and what made a difference in my journey. So as I said, yes, this is my role, open source project manager. This was an event in last year in summer. We had a Tokyo 5 for the Future event, and it was very successful. And some of the attendees are here too. So, have you seen people wanting to contribute? I know, some of the people who raised hand who never contributed to WordPress. I'm sure you came here because you want to, learn how to contribute. There's so many people who want to contribute to WordPress, and even though we keep saying we need more contributors, I think there are more contributors who want to contribute, but not exactly able to do that. So there's a lack of contribution, which is, even from experienced contributors, they don't always know exactly where they can contribute the most, be impactful. So there's some disconnect between, want and, leading that to actual contribution that is, impactful for them and the project itself. At the same time, we always see joy of contribution. People keep doing it because it's fun, because it's enjoyable, it's meaningful, and whenever you make something, some kind of contribution that is, worthwhile or impactful for the people or the project, you feel this, excitement. I think that's what kept me in this community. It was very different from anything I experienced outside of this, project. It's somehow, maybe it's connecting to someone you never knew in the world to, be able to help, or some kind of like big impact WordPress had to, people in their life. It makes you so happy to be able to be part of this project, because it's not something you can get from outside of this open source contribution. So you see these three things, how can we embrace the want? There are people who want to contribute, but there is lack of contribution, connecting them to actual contribution activities and sustaining it. And, we want to make them happy, and we want to make us happy by having lots of contributors who are active and, enjoying their activities. That's my question. That's my, work. That's my mission. So let's go through, some of the ideas about how to make it happen. This is my favorite book, Art of Community. It's a Japanese version because it has a different subtitle. I wrote about this in my blog, and someone who read that in Japanese said he was very inspired, so I decided to include it. The subtitle is How to Connect the Desire to Contribute to Lead to Success, to Results. And that's only in Japanese version, it has this subtitle, and the book is Art of Community. It's a little older than another book with the same title, but I remember this, cover. I think the English version has the same cover. So I love the idea about how can we bring this want and connect it with the actual contribution and that lead to success. That's my big question in my journey. So Five for the Future is one of the initiative to help the Five for the Future is the promoting the WordPress community's contribution to the platform's growth. So currently we have this pledge system where companies and individuals can say, hey, I want to contribute. And from there, it's me and Hari Shankar, he's my buddy for this project. And we try to help people and organizations succeed in their contribution journey. So pledges, just like that, there's contribute as an organization, and as an individual, you can pledge to, say that I contribute to WordPress. So this is available as of now. So if you have questions about that, let me know. So the state of Five for the Future. About the 20% of the pledges who raised hand to say they will contribute as an individual, who are not sponsored, who are not paid to do their contribution work. This is the number percentage that is for the self-sponsored contributors who are active. So this means they have logged in, they had some kind of activity on WordPress.org. So it's small, I know we have people who've been, leaving and, not getting involved again, but even though people say they want to get involved, they don't always succeed in the journey. And for the company-sponsored contributors, so for example, GoDaddy, Yoast, 10up, they have several people pledged to contribute to WordPress as part of their work. So, during 40 hours or 5 hours on their workday, they contribute to WordPress. Of those company-sponsored contributors, we still only have 60% who are active. So some of the top companies, they have much higher activity, percentage. For example, Automatic, I'm sure it's close to 100%, except for people taking leave because that's our full-time job. But some companies say, okay, we want to contribute, but it doesn't lead to actual contribution, unfortunately. And also 21% of those, 60% of company contributions are, we would say, impactful. I think every contribution is meaningful, but maybe some of it is not as impactful as, for example, core contribution or event organization. There is small things you can do, but company sponsored contributors, they might be waiting to be connected to projects that they can make impact. So only 21% involved in these impactful projects. We have so many individuals who want to contribute, but desires and motivation is not enough. So, why can't we connect the want with the joy of the contribution? My observation through these 20 years, I think it has several factors. Contributors get stuck. Many get stuck at getting started. They say they want to, and they don't have any opportunity to actually get started. And they're like, I don't know what I'm doing, and then leave. Maybe you have seen people like that. Maybe you have helped people like that. But this is a super common thing, which is maybe surprising for you, for people who, like me, who started earlier, because it was easier when time was simple. And sustaining the activity can be hard, maybe because it's life situation or other things. You can say like, I'm gonna do it, and then you do it like for a short period of time, and then you go away. And make impact, as I said, finding a project that is impactful and that's available for you. There's a concept about contributor ladder, which is a blog post by Josefa, and you can check out later. The ladder is first stage is connecting. So maybe WordCamp is your opportunity, or you go into Slack and you connect with people, and you understand, your surrounding, how things go, and you engage, and then you perform. Then you become a leader, encouraging others. So it's not always smooth ladder. Even for me, myself, I think I was lucky to be able to kind of, find my way. But it took a long time. So how can we, optimize this ladder? What blocks us? I'm sure you're familiar with this if you're involved. But there are, lack of resources. Even though we have so much like information about contributing, documentation and everything, there still isn't enough. It seems that we are able to activate all the people who want to become active. And sometimes there's lack of clear direction in some things, and lack of collaboration is a big challenge. We're dispersed, and some people are doing one thing, other people are doing the same thing. We don't always find out. And also, of course, it's burnout. How can we unblock? So I think this is for everybody is interested to be more successful in your journey. Even if you're already active, maybe you can think about how you can help others to unblock their contribution blockers. First, provide or find resources. Of course, if there's no resource, we need to provide it. And it's not about written documentation or onboarding sessions. We need time and skills and peers or mentors to help out. For example, if you're a company supporting your contributor employees, have a time set aside, even 1 hour every quarter, or few hours one day. For example, Yoast does this. Contributor Day happens regularly. I think a couple of times a year. Next edition is April 18th. They have set aside a day to host a contributor day, which is similar to the day one of WordCamp Asia, but online for the guests, and your employees can join offline at the office. So this is one way to say, hey, this is a day for contribution. That way you can continue to do it on that day for sure. Another one is have an internal resource and use it. RT Camp have learning courses for their employees that includes contribution to WordPress. This is not like entire part of their training, but they teach new hires skills to, as a part of their training to contribute to WordPress. So it's their part of their training process, which helps gain their skills and expanding the community. Web Dev Studios, they have 5 for the Future Friday. So on a day, I think it's once a month, they have regularly held the internal day for contribution. So JC, who was a co-lead of WordCamp Asia last year, she would spend Friday, working on WordPress WordCamp things, and she said, "I'll do it on a Friday because I have time set aside from my company." Another one is WordPress contributor mentorship program. This is another resource people can use. This cohort has started already for this, this time around, but we plan on having more in the future. So if you know anybody who wants to get started, keep an eye on the idea for this contributor mentorship program. We'll be, collecting more people, calling more people to be mentee and mentors. So, once you have a resource, we need to share and find a clear direction. if you are in a position to, lead a project, of course, we need to share it. But if you are, the person to find the direction, to stay informed, it's best to be connected and ask questions. And you also need to set priorities for yourself, because the direction is not just given to you, but you need to set your own direction. And without that, it's really easy to get lost. So don't just say I'm just going to keep doing the same thing, but maybe to come up, climb up the ladder of contribution, try something new, try something more difficult, and or expanding your skills and experience. Set a priority to, let's say, I'm gonna try to become a volunteer next time. Try to send a PR to Gutenberg repository. Do something different to expand your experience, so that you can start to see more and more different types of contribution, and stay informed. And collaborate, of course. We all know collaboration is best way to get something done in the WordPress community. We've learned through, WordCamp, of course, projects. Open source itself is a result of collaboration. So communicate well. Even though we only get to talk to each other often online, written communication is the key of how we get things done. So be careful with your language, and if English is not your first language, learning it is of course important, but communication is just beyond that. So maybe look at the people who are doing well and learn from their what they're doing. So, and then working in open source is open. So you need to work together, not just, get things done in a direct message, get more people involved, share information, and more people who want to help will be, able to help. Without you opening up the opportunity, they won't be able to find what needs to be done. And help others to collaborate, work together, matching people who are, looking for something from each other. So we can do a lot in here. So this comes from outside of WordPress or open source, but I thought it was interesting. There's more and more things to know, especially, as the project goes into, 21st year, and it gets bigger, more complicated, more people are involved. There's always more things to know. It's not possible to know everything. I learned in WordCamp Asia organization, it's much bigger than local WordCamp. There's so much to know. So you need to be able to trust others and work with them and help them become a good leader. Otherwise, you can't do everything. So you will, be forced to learn doing things with others. And that helps avoiding burning out, because by delegating work to others, you can have time for yourself. Rest, self-care is very important, because that's the only way you can stay in the community and keep contributing long term and keep building the network that is needed for working together. So these are the tips for becoming more impactful. Provide resources for yourself and others. Share and find a clear direction. Collaborate. Align with user needs. I skipped it, but I originally had it. I'm sorry. Avoid burning out. So what makes us impactful? I'm coming back to this first question. My theory is that we need to think long-term advancement of growth of the ecosystem. If you're starting out, maybe it doesn't feel quite important as other things that you need to learn. But I think what has been driving me is that I care about WordPress, I care about the community, and I care about the long term. existence of the ecosystem. So the decisions I have been making is, okay, I will be able to fix this in a long term. So I will choose a, slower way. That way, you can always, have the result in a long term. So I would say don't focus on short term result. If you have the mind of five for the future, not the 5% part, but the future part, you will always be able to work together and contribute to the future of the WordPress. Only way to be able to make the first five for the future successful is to have the future mindset and think about how you can strategically contribute to WordPress, and not just to focus on things in front of you, but think as a community, think as a ecosystem. You need to help out. You need help from others. We work together, and that's the only way for the future WordPress to be able to have a successful state. So let's build the future of WordPress better together, and that's my hope, and I hope that's your desire to be here in this room. I will hope this conversation will continue, and we will be able to talk more about this five for the future and WordPress contribution in the course of the day and after this event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naoko, for this amazing session. And if anyone have any question, please feel free to ask. Is there any question? Yes, please.
If you're new to contributing, where should you start? Like, if you want to contribute, what's the best way to start?
First step, there's a contributor tool at make.wordpress.org/contribute. Correct? Yes. So there's a tool that you can choose your contributor, path based on your skill and desire. But at the same time, since you're here at the WordCamp Asia, I would encourage you to talk to others. There's a help hub table in the second floor sponsored area. There's a way to, they'll teach you how to get involved in the Slack for Make WordPress, and they'll help you. So please talk to people. And what's your name? Michael. And please help Michael. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who want to ask question? I have a question if I can.
Okay.
Yeah. What how can we motivate people to contribute? I mean, how can people contribute?
How can we help people contribute, and how can we
Motivate them,
help?
yeah. Yes.
Yes. So I think motivation always comes from your desire and interest, but I was motivated through small encouragement, even from the beginning, not just from Matt, but everybody who are around me. So don't hesitate to say things like, you're doing a great job, you're doing meaningful things, you helped me. I think small care to others that goes far away. It sometimes is kind of hesitating to say that, but if someone does a great job, I sometimes send you I sent you a message, you're doing such a great job. I think that keeps you going, because you realize, okay, I'm doing something meaningful. So don't assume people know that. People like Pooja, I think it needs to be said, even though it's so obvious. You might think, oh, she knows, but it helps a lot. Yeah.
I can still remember my first message back in 2017 when I first time attended Polyglot's meeting, and right after the meeting you messaged me and encouraged me to contribute more.
Oh yeah.
The first time was amazing. And when you get appreciation from the seniors, and it was like seniors and who are already contributing, it is always awesome, feeling awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're already contributing, I think everybody feels, oh, someone who is already doing, see me. So yeah, Slack DM, let's do it more for those purpose. Yes.
How we can encourage companies to contribute to open source project?
For the companies to contribute. I would say we need to find the sweet spot of where they can benefit from, contributing to WordPress and how WordPress benefit from their contribution. For example, I know like Google hosting companies, they're interested in security and performance, they work on it, it makes sense. So don't just think like it's an obligation to help WordPress, it is an opportunity for you to make a change into the direction that you want to, find something that helps your business through contribution. And if you have a question about that, me and Harry, we're happy to answer all the specific questions about your company contribution. Just what?
Yes, please.
I have two questions.
Okay.
One for one for folks who are contributing for the first time. They know where they would like to contribute. Like they've decided on the team and they know kind of what they want to do. Where should they go to figure out like more about what the teams are doing, like where they meet, what they are looking at, what they're trying to do as like their beginner first time contribution? And the second question is for companies that looked at your presentation and realized like they didn't know that they could sponsor some of their employees' time, like where could they go to say like, I'm ready to help an employee contribute, how do I get that done?
Okay, so the first question, what people find out, I would say make the WordPress.org front page has links to each team and document, handbook, meetings. So meeting is, team meetings that happens on Slack is the best way to, say hello and ask questions, even though you can ask question anytime on Slack. So if you're not, asking question in person, Slack and Make WordPress website has all the information. But I know we need to improve in first, good first bug kind of things for every team. We don't exactly have page to send people to. The tool is great, but after that they might feel lost. So I think it's area to contribute for others, to help contributors. So we need to have some work. And for companies, yes, that's another thing we need to improve. I have this email, get involved at WordPress.org. We can, have you contact us, but we don't have exact way of pointing people to, where to work on. I would point to, Josepha's post about, big things for 2024, is that right? Yeah. So she lists important projects for this year, including data liberation and core and things like that. So the make that WordPress.org/project is one of the location to find out. But we're also working on a dashboard for contributor, which will help new contributors and experienced contributor to find the most important things to work on. For some teams, they have good first bug tag for GitHub issues. So yeah, but finding that could be also a problem. So we need a better onboarding of new people. So yes, thanks for the question.
Thank you for your answer. They're amazing. And we have a token of appreciation for you. Just give me a minute.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And let's keep talking. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining us. We have our next session in 20 minutes. So please feel free to get water and what you want, and we will be back in 20 minutes here. Thank you.